Today's July 26th. In COVID news, I want to talk about briefly about the Delta variants of vaccinations, and then briefly about kids. The numbers are not good here in the United States. They're looking better in the UK and Spain. They're starting to plateau, starting to go down a little bit. That's good. UK's been on lockdown for a long time. But the numbers in France are skyrocketing, man. It's going way up, like a British, like the Beatles' hit song, man. And Italy is also going up. South America is kind of plateaued and going down. So right now it's really Europe and, again, the United States, Mexico. Canada is kind of hanging pretty low. Also, Indonesia has recovered. And we know this is due to the Delta variant. Now, for some reason, some people are very confused by how this works. Yes, we know there are breakthrough cases, but Dr. Vuong, you said there'd be no deaths. No, it's 99.5% death rate is in the unvaccinated. So I didn't say there were no deaths. There were no deaths in the studies. Like, I didn't guarantee that if you got vaccinated, that you wouldn't die, like that there was no chance of dying. Scientists and doctors don't say no chance. It's like that scene from Dumb and Dumber. So what you're saying there's a chance. But in the trials for both the Pfizer and Moderna, these are large trials, 20,000 in each arm, 20,000 of vaccinated, 20,000 of placebo. That's 40,000 volunteers for these vaccines a year ago who, they're the real heroes. They didn't know what was happening. Those are large trials. But Dr. V, this vaccine's not tested. Why are you? It's more tested than your fucking blood pressure medicine you're taking or some antibiotic or whatever. These are crazy, good trials. And in the trials, there was a very low hospitalization rate in the ones that were vaccinated, and there were zero people who were vaccinated that died from COVID. Well, while 40,000 is a huge trial, we've done 300 million doses in America alone. 300 million doses. So that number has gone from zero, like absolute zero, to 0.5%. So 99.5% of deaths are occurring in unvaccinated. And why are people sitting there? See, I told you so. Like, what's wrong with you? You have no logical thinking skills. Like, I want the odds on my side. I'll take the 0.5% death rate, and you can go to the 99.5% side of dying. But Dr. V, I had this friend or this cousin, or I know this person that was vaccinated and came down with COVID. Yeah, but we know that that's going to happen. That's what 94% effective means. So in the Pfizer and Moderna studies, it was 94% effective. So 6% we're going to get come down with the disease. And in the studies, none of them were hospitalized. Now we know, after we've done 300 million doses here in America, that 3% are getting hospitalized. So 97% of the hospitalizations are in unvaccinated, 3% are in the hospitalized, or 3% are in the vaccinated. So in the studies, none of them were hospitalized, but once you get to 300 million, you're going to have a few that are going to break through and need to be hospitalized. And yes, a very, very small percentage will unfortunately die. Now, to put it in perspective, the death rate, if you are vaccinated and you catch COVID, if you're vaccinated and you catch COVID, the death rate is something like 1 in a million. You have a 1 in a million chance of dying if you're vaccinated and you catch COVID. That's like crazy small numbers. But if you are unvaccinated, your chance of dying is 1 in 30. Nah, fuck that, Dr. V. You can't make me get that jab. Motherfucker, I'm not trying to make you do anything. I don't fucking care. Get the jab, don't get the jab, I don't care. I got the vaccination, and I never said I would not get the vaccination. For the people who keep claiming that I said I would not get the vaccination, they're idiots. I never said that. I said I don't get the flu vaccination because that's a whole different vaccine. You know, I don't know what's wrong with people. People want to hear what they want to hear, right? Now let's move on to kids real quick. We've got some new studies coming out on kids. And this is problematic. So, you know, I have a 15-year-old and she got vaccinated. She just turned 15, so she was vaccinated when she was 14, almost 15. And so I still have a 5-year-old who's too young to be vaccinated. But Dr. V, you know, kids are, both sides, right? I have a young child who can't be vaccinated. I'm terrified to death about them catching COVID. Don't be terrified to death about them catching COVID. Like, it's okay. Like, most of them will do fine. You know, there's been something like a few hundred kids that have died from COVID, which is horrible. But you're talking in America, I mean, 626,000 people that have died. A lot of them were elderly in the beginning. Now it's the middle-aged people. You know, a year ago, people were saying, like, why are we shutting down? It's only a disease of the elderly. And now they've been vaccinated. And now the deaths are in the 30s and 40-year-old people who used to think that this was a disease of the elderly. So even a few hundred kids, it's too much, but percentage-wise, it's very low. Most of them will do very, very well. Now, having said that, a newer study that's come out that says they do have some long-haul syndromes, including fatigue, sleepiness, and loss of focus. I'm talking about younger kids. Now, that's about 4 times higher than the background rate. Obviously, if you ask little kids, like, are you sleepy? You're going to get some kids that go like, yeah, I'm sleepy. So that's called the background rate. And when they have COVID, there's about a 4 times increase above background rate. And that number translates into about 1 in 25. So 1 in 25 kids who catch COVID will have sort of lasting effects for 3 months or longer. That's a little bit high. So if you want your kids to go back to school, my 5-year-old's going to go back to in person, I would put on a mask. I would have put a mask on them. Oh, but they're being scarred. Dude, your kid's on fucking TikTok, all right? Chill out. Your kid's much more damaged by being on TikTok and social media than they are from wearing a mask. They're the ones who understand it's temporary. I mean, the ones who are really freaking out are the 15 and 16-year-olds who are trying to kiss each other. They can't because they have masks and parents are watching and are you social distancing? So more studies are going to come, but you know, my 5-year-old is going to go back in campus and she's going to wear a mask, you know, and my whole family, and we're vaccinated. A lot of it is to protect her. And if you have a young kid or you have an elderly patient or someone who's immunocompromised, the best thing to do is to vaccinate yourself and your surroundings. And lastly, you know, this Delta variant, you know, some people will sit there and go, well, see, I told you there's no point in getting the Delta variant, you know, getting the vaccine because of the Delta variant. Like, no, the vaccination works really well against the Delta variant. And we keep getting variants because of idiots like you who won't get vaccinated, who keeps spreading, allowing this virus to mutate. So the sooner we can get to a point where the majority of people get vaccinated, we can stop this mutation process and we don't have to worry. See, I knew it. You were going to have to get a booster shot. Again, there's a good possibility we might have to get booster shots because of vaccine hesitancy, not because of the vaccination. Anyway, the logic just confounds me. Well, that's it. This was supposed to be a short, quick COVID update. Not so quick, but hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please hit subscribe. I'm going to try to do one of these every single day. Keep it under 5 minutes. Love y'all. See y'all next time.